are you ready for another crazy episode of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch? This is my review for Season 4, Episode 2. We've got crazy drones, drone swarms, and other really interesting stuff going on. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, I'm just going to go right to my notes and let you know what I was thinking as I watched it and, what they were up to. Because of the uncertain results of the LiDAR last time, they're going to use drones to get better answers. And that's right, because they had the really interesting LiDAR scan last time, and they showed a couple of anomalies. One of those anomalies was at the very tip of the tower that they found at the cliffhanger for last season, where they used the, I'm going to get the technical terms wrong, but they were able to see this weird structure or, energetic structure that appeared to exist in the east field right above the weird Native American ritual ceremony place where they have the spiral stones. That seems to have been a place where the Native Americans had possibly created a portal or were using magic or shamanic beliefs to ward off some sort of evil from the ridge. And they found this weird long tower-like thing. I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he says he believes it's actually the shape of the gateway. This 100-foot tall crevice-like thing in reality may actually be the shape of the gateway. And I like that idea. I don't know if that's the case, but I really think that's pretty cool. Because of the anomaly that was detected from LiDAR that was at the very tip of that structure or doorway, whatever it was, they didn't know if LiDAR was functioning correctly, so they want to get some more corroborating evidence. So they hire in a team of drone experts, people that put on drone displays and drone swarms that do all sorts of fantastic things, and they are going to use these hundreds of drones, or I think there's 200 drones, and they are, making them go up in the air to see what exactly happens when you have these well-coordinated hundreds of drones and you have all this weird stuff going on in the air, the helicopters being buffeted around, etc. So what would the behavior of the drones be if they are acting anomalous in certain specific regions of their patterns? You could identify what areas are, drawing the energy or the focus or where the anomalies are. So it's a good idea. It's a clever idea to see what's going on in the sky. Send up a bunch of drones with GPS stuff on them and see exactly what the phenomenon makes them do. Yeah. So, Pete, the one of the LiDAR guy, he tells the drone guys that he has lost 3 drones there. And Eric Bard was saying on an interview just the other day, and I may make a video on part of that later, they have equipment malfunctions all the time. This is something that I've heard before, but he was really highlighting what a big issue the equipment failures are just as a logistical thing, making the show. Cameras die, batteries die all the time. And he was asked, well, if that's the case, then how can you even make the show at all? And his answer is because this is a transient phenomena it's not all the time knocking out their cameras. It comes when it comes. So interesting. They're going to send up this drone swarm and look for deviations or anomalies. Meanwhile, they interview a local Indian who lives near Bottle Hollow, and he has seen a couple of UFOs and got one on camera. So that was interesting. And, they need this, when they have these interviews with the locals giving their story, that's always interesting to get another perspective on what's going on in the Uinta Basin. Also, it allows them to pad out the runtime a little bit, but I appreciate seeing these other perspectives. So that's good. They launched the 200 drones first over the triangle. It's a really cool display, very impressive to see all those drones up there. And I've seen videos of drone swarms doing some fantastic stuff, and it really is amazing what drone technology can do. Eric immediately begins broadcasting the 1.6 gigahertz frequency, and Travis and Thomas Winterton go to launch the rocket. They are doing this, of course, to stimulate activity and some sort of response from the phenomenon. A few of the drones are indeed out of place. Then, unexpectedly, all the drones come to the ground, which normally only happens under extreme weather conditions. Also, the batteries are draining quicker than usual. So, sure enough, anomalous stuff is going on when they launch this fantastic drone swarm, which is also very pretty. They send up the drones again, to get some repeatability going. And some drones start to go kind of crazy. So yeah, it is repeatable in that sense. Then they relocate their drone swarm to the east field where the tower is, or the doorway, whatever it is, whatever that structure is. And it's weird that one drone just takes off and shoots off into the air before all the others, which isn't supposed to happen. And they can't explain that. And, they launch, the rest of the drones go up. Some of the drones are off course, but it's a tighter formation than before. Then they launch a rocket, and the drones start to wiggle. That's Travis. He says the drones are wiggling. I love that. Love Travis. Yeah, maybe it's the Texan in me responding to a fellow Southerner who has an even stronger accent than I do. So you go, Trav. So anyway, the drones are acting funky. They're wiggling. And then a UFO appears right over the launch site. And they're able to get that on camera. And I think they give it on a few different cameras. Travis actually gets his phone out and begins recording. And that becomes important later. Anyway, so the UFO is there. I don't know for how long. And then it vanishes up into the clouds. And this is a white luminous object similar to others they've seen. A couple of days later, they are reviewing the LiDAR data and the available data from the drones. I was disappointed that they didn't talk more about the anomalous activities of the drones. I was kind of hoping they were going to be able to use the drones to determine the precise locations in the air which were causing the disturbances. What precise locations are anomalous and are creating these weird effects. And if that can be repeated in, multiple drone swarms, then you could know, well, that's the area, that exact area, that precise nanometer is where the anomaly is. And then you could study that. But they did not do that. So I was a little disappointed, a little confused why they did not do that. Would it be prohibitively expensive to get that sort of data from each individual drone for 200 drones? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's just not as easy as that. I'm not a technical guy. Maybe there's a technical answer for that. But yeah, so they are going over the data. And Pete's LiDAR data picked up the U.A.P, so they're able to look at that as well as the video. Travis had put together a 3D model of what the object may have looked like from the video he was taking in his phone. That's why I said that was important. So he's able to recreate this thing in a 3D model. And it's just kind of a blurry, sphere on the video. But you can kind of see some shading in it and a little darkening on one of the ends. And he's able to use this shape to generate an image that looks kind of like a dumbbell that's shoved together. These two spheres with this thing in the middle and dots on the end. So that was really interesting. I've never seen a UFO quite like that before. And it is also very similar to one that he investigated as part of the U.A.P. task force. And so I'll be very interested to see what other information he can bring forward from the U.A.P. task force. What is he allowed to talk about? I would love to know. I do think it was funny at one point to say this is not a bouquet effect. because, of course, the glowing green pyramids, they probably weren't really green, but that's how they appeared on the video. The glowing green pyramids that appeared over the warships at sea that we have video and witness testimony from, that Bray and Moultrie at the U.A.P hearing a few months ago declared to be a bouquet effect, which went against Travis's findings. They said it was a lens artifact, how the light hit the lens. And the person making that determination should have been Travis Taylor, Dr. Travis Taylor, who actually said that it was anomalous. So they were not relying on their chief scientist to make that determination. Bray and Moultrie did not analyze that footage themselves. How did they arrive at the determination that it was a bouquet effect? Well, clearly they were given that narrative by somebody who did not want them to give the opinion of their chief scientist. So, yeah, Bray and Moultrie, part of the machine, just like Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. I don't blame any of them, not a personal attack on any of them. Although I have called Bray and Moultrie Heckle and Jekyll. But yeah, so this was a very not so subtle dig at Bray and Moultrie when Travis Taylor says this was not a bouquet effect. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, so then Thomas points out they saw a similar object in a previous season referring to the U.A.P, U.F.O, and they show a little bit of that. Then Eric Bard goes over his data, comparing the East Field drone swarm to the one over the triangle, and it appears that something is distorting the data over the triangle in a big way, but not the East Field. So the East Field, where they have this giant portal or structure or whatever it is, isn't disturbing the drones as much as the one over the triangle. So that's really interesting. What does that mean? I hope they get an answer to that, because that's just super fascinating. What could be going on at the triangle that is more, extra dimensional or whatever than the crazy portal thing over the stone spiral? Fascinating, right? And then Pete, the LiDAR guy, he shares his data, and this was really, really interesting. There is some data missing in rearranged, and a whole stripe of the mesa is missing on his LiDAR scans, and just the whole swath, the whole big slice, just carved right out of the mesa. That data from that slice is not where it should be on his scans. It is moved way the heck over into a place that's not even covered by his scans. So clearly something really significant happened there. What's also interesting is that the stripe that is missing apparently leads right to the area where the domed-shaped metal object they found last year was located. So enormously interesting, and it gives me hope that we're going to be able to get an excuse to study that dome-like object again. And indeed, when they start talking about what their next steps are, Travis and Eric say, well, they are going to start having ground-penetrating radar. I mean, they should have had that from day one in season 1, right? I mean, really, what's the delay on the ground penetrating radar? I don't get that. But whatever, maybe it's hugely expensive. I don't know. But they are going to hopefully showcase the results of some ground penetrating radar in upcoming episodes. And I am really excited about that. They're also talking about high-speed cameras that will be able to film the UFOs better than the regular cameras they have been using. So we'll see where it goes from here, but episode 2 is a really good one. And we have a lot of episodes left. I can't wait to see what that ground penetrating radar shows. What about you guys? Have you seen the episode? What did you think? Are you enjoying the series so far? I love the show. One of my favorite shows on TV right now. And I don't watch a lot of TV. So that's not very many, but it's a great show. It really is. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. That'd be super awesome. Hit the subscribe button and the bell, of course, to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on Facebook and Twitter. There are links below. I would love to see you guys there. And if you would share this video when it drops on social media, that'd be super helpful. There are plenty of other videos for you to check out. In the meantime, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.